gives a thumbs up. Hello everybody, welcome back to part number 3 of live WordPress plugin coding, where we are attempting to build out a plugin from scratch, and we are building a plugin called Editable Archive Pages, where we can provide a post in WordPress for users to be able to edit the content of dynamically created pages in WordPress. So those are the post type archive pages, and possibly even taxonomy term archive pages. Well, we'll see how far we get, but certainly post type archive pages we're going to do, and that's what we've been working on. And last time we did some work registering post types that we're going to use, and we started to try and create a post for each post type every time on a registered post type hook, but we came across the fact that it was registering 6 times. So that was the cliffhanger that we ended on last time, and we'll see if we can fix that this time in this particular session. We're going to go on for a little bit shorter today, probably finishing about 2:45, 10 to 4. So welcome if you're joining us. Please say so hello in the chat. Let me know who you are and where you're from. It'd be really good. And if you want to see more videos like this, particularly the next parts of this, then please consider subscribing to the High Rise Digital channel. There should be a big, I think it's red button below us. Hit that and you can subscribe. And if you like the video, do click the like button as well. Let's get started. So here we go. So today we're going to fix that issue that we had, hopefully, and we're going to sort that out. So what we got up to yesterday, we've got a post type called archive pages registered here, which is the post type we're going to use. There's going to be one post in here for each post type or custom post type that is using an archive page in WordPress. So we've got one called case studies, and this is set to have an archive. So when my code runs, I expect there to be one post in here called case studies that's going to be used for that particular post type. So let's have a look at what we got up to last time. That's the wrong screen. It's that one that we want. Hopefully you can now see my code editor. And this is where we were up to last time. We weren't looking at this, although that does introduce me to this actually. Someone in the chat, and forgive me, sorry, I can't remember who it was, said, are you not using the Ray app for debugging? Because I was doing it the old-fashioned way with var dump and all sorts of stuff like that. So I've downloaded it, and it's actually quite cool. So what you get is you get a little app to install on your Mac, and if you want to debug something, you can just do like Ray and then the value that you want to debug, or the variable if you like. And instead of coming in a debug file, it kind of spits it out over here for you. We might use that as this video goes on. I've not used it at all very much, so I'm by no means an expert in the use of Ray, but hey ho. So let's just get rid of that code for now. Let's close that file because we're not really using it, and let's get back to our actual plugin, which is in the plugins folder, and it has gone. That's because I'm on the wrong site. There we go. Let's get the right site up. Where we go? eap.test. There we go. That's better. Hi, Mark. Thanks for joining us. Let me just get back where we were. So if you remember from last time, hopefully that's going to... There we go. I was just going to say it's not coloured in for some reason. If you remember from last time, we started to insert our posts. So what we're doing in this function is we're basically, every time a post type is registered in WordPress, we're checking that it's not our post type that we want to actually add this post to. If it is, we're going to do nothing. We're checking that it is supposed to use an archive. And again, if it isn't, we're going to just bail out early and do nothing. And we're then checking whether the post is actually viewable. So we only want to do this for public post types. So all those sort of like utility post types in WordPress for nav menu items and customize the CSS and blocks, we don't want to touch those. We're just going to leave those alone. And then what we're doing is inserting a post which has got the post type name, when that's been created, just setting some metadata for it. I've just commented this out here at the moment because we had that problem with it last time. And the reason why is because this hook that we're using, that's registered post type, actually gets fired more than once. And because I wasn't doing a check to see whether or not my post was created, the check was it was just creating that post every time. So if I refresh the page like 3 times, I ended up with like 46 posts or something like that with the same name. So we need to fix that first. Right, so let's do that. So we're actually going to ditch the query because we're going to do it a different way. I'll just leave that there for a second, actually. Do let me know, by the way, if this is too small. It is really massive on my screen, so I can't make it much bigger, but I could probably bump it up a bit if you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to store the relationships between our custom post types and our posts, which we're going to use to edit those archive pages, in an option. So the first thing we need to do up here is to get that option. So let's call this the EAP options, and we'll do get option, and then we need to give that option a name. We will call that EAP relationships, I think. And what we're going to do is that is going to be an array of post types and post IDs. So in there we'll have an item for case studies, and then we'll save the ID of the post that we are going to use for that post type in that relationship. So once we've got the option, then, in fact, we've missed out a comment, which I know I love. So get the EAP post type relationships, whoops, from the options. We then need to check whether we've already got a post in that options relationship created for this post type. So check whether this post type already has an archive page post created. So if, whoops, not empty, which I also believe checks for is set as well. I found out the other week, well, a bit longer than a week, but you get my idea. So if it's not empty, and that's going to be EAP options, and then the name of the post type, which is called, bear with me a sec, what's the case studies post type called? HD_case_study. HD_case_study. So if we have an option for that, and I suppose, thinking whether I need to check whether that's like a 0 or not, possibly not, I'm not sure. So if we don't have an option, we haven't got that set, we want to set it, but we can't do that until we've created the post. So I think we want to actually add our post inside there, like this. Let's have a look. So, whoops. Oop, did that? What happened then? My sidebar's disappeared. Why has my sidebar disappeared? Oh, I must have pressed Command and B, which is near Command and V, which makes sense because I was pasting. Okay, so where are we then? Where are we? I got lost then. Here we go. If we're not empty, insert a new post for this post type. Then we want to save some metadata for this post, and then we want to update the options with the relationship. So let me move that into the middle of the screen, then it's easy to see. So update the options with the new relationship. How do we update an option? I presume it's update option. Oops. That is a guess. It must be just update option. I'm sure it is. I'm almost certain it is. If you've just joined us, then do let us know who you are and where you are in the chat. It'd be nice to say hello. So update option, we want the option name, and then we want the option value, obviously. It's fairly self-explanatory, so let's do that now. So the option name is EAP relationships. And the option is going to be Before we do that, we need to add it though, don't we? Sorry. Add our new post type relationship to the options array. So this would be EAP relationships, did I call it? No, I called it options for some reason. I want to add this post type. That's got to be dynamic mark. And add this post type. And we're going to set that to be the post ID of the newly created post that we just created. I think that's right. And then we're going to update that. EAP options. Cool. Let's just remove that stuff out of the way. So let me just run through this and check we've got this right. So at this point, we've reached a post type that we want to actually create an archive page for. Hi there, Nate. And we then get the current relationships. We check to see if we already have a relationship. And if we don't have one, we're going to insert a new post for this post type. If that was successful, we're going to create, update some metadata. So actually, we're going to put that inside that if statement because we don't want to do that unless the post was created successfully. And if it was created successfully, we're going to update our options value. So push a new array element in there, and then we're going to update the options in WordPress. So the next time we get them, this post will be in them. And then let's uncomment the add action. As if it works. Never works first time, but we'll see. So here's our archive pages. If I refresh, I should get one post called case studies. Suspense. And I've got nothing. Okay, so why have I got nothing? Where is that breaking? So we're going to use Ray. Hey. So, Ray. Hello. So basically, do I get to this point in the code? That's what I'm trying to work out now. And it should output something over here. Yes, I do. So it's outputted my little statement over on the left. I don't think I can zoom in on that actually. I can, excellent. So you can see it a bit better. It only seems to zoom in once, but never mind, that's better than nothing. So it does do that. Let's output the options. I think I might know why this is. But we will go through the process of debugging to make sure. Hi Dave, thanks for joining us. Okay, so that's false, so we don't have an option. Okay, so if it's not empty, well it is empty because it's false. So we need to do, if it's not empty, or, if it's not empty, or it is false. As in, we've not done this before, I think. Yeah, because it won't be false when I've set this in, so that's fine, I think. Or false is equal to, oops, triple equals EAP options, like this. Let's remove that. Okay, let's see if that works. Interesting. We get less posts, but we get two. Out of interest, if I refresh again, do I get another 2 posts? I do. Interesting. Okay. So let's just remove those. And let's stick some debugging code in here then. EAP options. Oh, hasn't trashed them yet. It's a bit slow. Ah, of course, because it's running the code again. Right, bear with me a sec. Let's comment that out. This is coding on a Friday afternoon for you. Can't get the simple things working. Hopefully it shows the process. Okay, that worked because it didn't add any more. That's fine. So move to trash, all those, go. Hopefully that'll bring back an empty screen now. Come on, site, you know you can do it. It was much faster than this last time. Right, brilliant, that's working. So let's run it again, but we want to output some stuff. Let's clear that thing. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick exit in there so that it stops running. So I don't get that post created. Just want to see what that option looks like. Why have I got something there already? I haven't done anything. That is really interesting. That's like it's running in the background. Okay, and it's died. We've got any errors in here? Oops. Undefined variable on line 103. 103? It's a comment. Oh, I know what I've done. That should be the name of the option, so it shouldn't be a variable. That should be that. Oh no, exit. Get with it. Exit. It has exited, and that's why I get a white screen. Okay, but I'm still getting false. That's fine. Right. Get rid of exit. And then what we'll do this time is do. I hope you can do this in Ray. Before post added. And then do the same at the bottom. Oops. After post added. Refresh. Okay, that's better. That's better. One post. Okay, so if I refresh again, does it get? It does. It's done it twice, which is odd. That's interesting. How do I get Ray to tell me what's inside that variable? Because I know it's an array, but I want to see it. I wonder if you can do. No, let's do that. Let's just go back and move to trash. I'm utterly confused now because that's ran that code again, but it wasn't running. Try again. Possibly. Okay. So, code's running. I'm just going to go back to the old-fashioned dumping method just to check that that's kind of doing what I want it to do. So I'm going to go, I think you can do this, wp die And then inside that, for dump something out. So what do we want to dump out? What is EA options? Oops. I'm guessing by the fact that no one's screaming at me in the chat that they haven't seen what I'm doing wrong either. Oh, hang on, did I actually make that file run? No, I didn't. Down to the bottom. And refresh. Cool, so that worked. We've got an array which has got our post type in, and it's got a post that's been created. So if I go back, why was that post? Okay, so if I get rid of that and save and stop this code running again, I'm beginning to think maybe this is the wrong action to run this on. Maybe we should do it at another point, like, I don't know, press a button to create the pages. Okay, so it thinks it's post 22, but it's not because, well, that was probably from last time. Okay, right. Let's start again. In settings, general. Mark says, I'm baffled to show, but I'm glad to see that I'm not the only one who develops like this. Yeah, there's no shortcuts to getting it wrong all the time. Trial and error. So I'm going to try and find my option in here. And oh, I can't delete it from there. How annoying. Okay. I could do if it wasn't an array. Let's just go into SQL Pro and remove it from the database. Localhost, connect, EAP. I don't know if you use SQL Pro for your local databases. It's quite good to find stuff and get rid of stuff in the database. So you can do like option name equals EAP relationships. And there it is. Yeah, it's got the case study. So I can just edit that value. Just get rid of that. Okay. Hello? Did that go? No. Save. That's why. No. That was weird. So if I refresh that, it should display an empty box there. No, it's not doing. Okay. Back to my code. So make that run. Let's just die and check what's in that variable. Options. Where's that come? Pink. That looks wrong, doesn't it? But looks right. Okay, let's try that again. Should just be able to go to there. It should die here. Oh, that's bizarre. I'm getting it there. It should die there. It should die there and then not do that way. And it shouldn't create post 22 anyway because it must have already created that, so it's not going to create it again. Do you see what I mean? It would create a new ID, which is weird. So I wonder if that's not been removed properly then. Okay. Let's comment that out. Let's go back to here. And let's see where this option is in here. Oh, that's annoying. No, come back. EAP is there. It's still there, isn't it? Maybe that didn't remove that properly or something. Okay. Just definitely see it's gone. Yeah, it's gone now in the database. Okay. Let's just try something completely different. I'm going to just go into 2021, into the index.php file, and at the header at the top, I'm going to go get option. No, that didn't work, did it? Because it didn't dump it. That's interesting. We'll do var dump instead. P. Relationships. Back to the browser. Okay, so the option is definitely an empty string, which is what we wanted. Right, let's go back to our code. Let's just clear the debugger, which we have. So we get the options. At this point, we've got an empty string. Okay, we're checking for false. That's probably why. So it is empty. Does get option take a default? It does take a default value. Right, okay. So I'm going to say if does that return an array? Let's check. Index p dump. Shouldn't got rid of that, should I? Should just comment it out. Get option relationships. Oh. No, still returns a string. So an empty option value is not considered empty, if that makes sense. So an empty option value is an empty string. So we need to check for that then. I'm just going to comment that out in case we need it again. So if it's not empty, so it isn't empty, we want to, so that's what's happening then. So that's the problem. So if it's not empty or it's false, that should still work, surely. Let's try it again. Oh, I've done it again now. Let me just got it. No, not there, it's there. This mark suggesting is empty should be, sorry, is not empty should be is empty. So that's not created anything. I'm going to have to wrap it up shortly, guys. We've not managed any progress. The joys of live stuff. I think you're right, Mark. Yes. Let's try that. There we go. Right, we've got one post. Let us refresh again. No. Okay. So why did that create one post to start with, and then it's creating more posts after that? That is bizarre. Oh, that's what it's right. Let's delete that as well. I really want to fix this before we finish. Get options. So that doesn't matter. Save that. I wonder whether we need to set the options when we install the plugin. So we need to create like an empty array in the options, and then we know it's going to be an array before we start. That might be a good idea. So when we install the plugin, on the plugin activation, we can say, create me this option as an empty array. Then in here, I know that it's going to be an array, and then I know whether that's going to be an empty or not. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the way forward. But I still don't know why that created one post once and then 3 posts the next, or 2 posts extra the next time I refreshed it, which was a bit bizarre. Anyway, I'm afraid we've come to the end of our time, and we've made absolutely zero progress with our plugin, but that's the joys of live coding WordPress stuff. So hopefully, if nothing else, that's made you feel better maybe about how you do it, because it happens to the best of us. I thought that might happen in these sessions, but there you go. That's how it is. So yeah, sorry we didn't make any progress, and that probably was not quite as exciting as it could have been, but there you go for Friday afternoon. So anyway, thanks for joining us, for those that did. And watch out for part 4, believe it or not, which is where we will try and fix this for a start and try and make some better progress. So we'll try and do that sometime next week, possibly on Monday afternoon, well, calendar permitting, but there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.